In today's video, I have to survive 100 days as a drowned. And also, I have 3 objectives. First, obtain the trident. Second, take out a ocean monument. And finally, defeat the ender dragon. Can I survive 100 days as a drowned in hardcore Minecraft? Keep watching and find out. And I quickly want to say that we're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers this year, and maybe with your help, we can do it. Anyways, let the 100 days begin. So here we go, our journey begins on day 1. And I could see right in front of me, there was ancient ruins and a load of drowned zombies. So I went around saying hello to all the drowned zombies, and I could see this guy had a trident. Wish I had a trident. Anyways, I went around the ancient ruins and I found this chest. So I opened it up and found some wheat, also some axes, and a buried treasure map. The treasure's a bit too far away for now, so I'll leave that and continue exploring. I found a second chest right here. There was an emerald, some coal, and also a fishing rod. And if I was going to survive these 100 days, I would need plenty of food. So what I decided to do was to take out these fish. Not the best food source in the game, but it'd do for now. And now I think it's about time we leave the ancient ruins and go out exploring. So I head out sea to see what else I can see, and I could see off in the distance there was a shipwreck. And I was very happy, so I headed over there the quick as I could. As I approached the shipwreck, I entered, found a chest, contained some leather boots with mending, which was nice, and also some potatoes. And also I wanted to go and collect a few bits of oak wood so that I could make a crafting table and make a wooden pickaxe. But you know what's better than a wooden pickaxe? A stone pickaxe. So I headed to the nearest ravine, collecting a bunch of stone. And what I decided to do was to head to the surface. I wanted to get a bit of fresh air. For some reason, I was set on fire by the sun. This was not good. So I headed back down and went exploring. I found a few pieces of iron, which was amazing. So I collected a few bits of iron because I would need this for iron tools and also some iron armor. And then I found these caves. I've never really explored them before in Minecraft, so I didn't hesitate. And it was nice. I couldn't drown, so I could explore these caves in peace. Secret cave. So I went around the cave and I found some iron. Okay, I think that's enough iron. It's time to head out. As I got to the surface, it was nighttime. So I didn't hesitate and I made a boat. So I made a boat and then I headed to land. As I approached land, I found a flower biome, which was very nice. So I went around and I thought I'd go and collect a few bits of wood. I might need this. And then as I tried making a way around this ravine, I accidentally slipped. Not very good. Anyways, I found some sheep, so I decided to take them out and collect a few bits of wool and also some food. And then I could see the sun was rising. This was really bad, so I made a run for it. I sprinted fast as I could back to the ocean. Even worse, as I was traveling through the sea, there it was, an ocean temple. This was bad, so I panicked and I made a run for it. And then later on that day, I thought, okay, it's about time we make a bit of a base. And I thought this looks like a perfect spot. So I started by placing in a few stone pillars, and also I wanted to make it underground. So I made a very, very simple 2x2 area. And I thought it'd be a bit different. Why not make my home underground? You know, I'd be safe from any mobs or any creatures. So I just cleared out a bit of space right here, and I stumbled across some lapis, which was very nice, and I would need this for enchanting. Anyways, by day 3, I finished up this area right here. I would also need a bit of storage, so I placed in some chests, but I was also thinking I would need my very own room. So I started construction on my very own room. This took a couple days. Collecting all the materials, all the stuff I would need, took a little bit of time. So for the walls, I just used a few stone bricks, and also for the roof as well. But then, as usual, I ran out of materials. So I had to go back to the island and go and collect some more. And I could see off in the distance, there was a desert temple. So what am I waiting for? I rushed over the quick as I could and entered the desert temple, made a way down and collected all the loot. There was loads of gold and also loads of golden apples. And of course, I can't forget, I made sure to collect the TNT as well. So I'll get home on day 6 and place in some sandstone slabs for the floor. And yeah, it looks awesome. And of course, I can't forget about storage. So I made an iron helmet so that I couldn't be set on fire by the sun. And I wanted to explore a little bit, so I headed out into the desert and found a bit of obsidian. Pretty interesting. Anyways, I continued my search across the lands. Finally, I found a few cows, so I took them out and collected a few bits of leather and also some beef. And then later on that day, I could see off in the distance, there was a village. So I headed over to the village and I collected a few melons. and also some of the villagers' equipment. But then I tried to trade with this villager, and for some reason, he didn't want to trade with me, which was rather strange. I wonder why. Anyways, I collected a few of the villagers' wheat. Yes, a shipwreck. So I headed into the shipwreck and found some bamboo and also a few more potatoes. And as well, later on that evening, I found a second shipwreck, but this time it was filled with sand. Oh well, I continue exploring, and by day 7, I found a brand new village. So I went to say hi to all the villagers, and for some reason, they ran away. Anyways, I went around the village, collecting a few bits of hay, and also I decided to go and collect a few bits of terracotta. I might need this for future builds. And finally, it is now time to head home. So I'll get home, make some iron pickaxes and also some stone ones, and I think it's time to go on a mining trip. So I head out into the seas to see if I could find a cave. I found this ravine right here, which actually did contain some iron, which was rather nice. So I collected a few bits of iron, but this cave wasn't good enough. Nope. I headed out and found a second one, and I found another secret cave. As I headed down into the cave, I found a mob spawner, which was amazing. So I went to go and loot up the chest, and I found a name tag, which was nice. And the second chest had a fortune-free book. This was incredible. So what I decided to do was to make an anvil, so I could put that fortune-free book on one of my iron pickaxes. And you know what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna go and find some diamonds. So I spent the next couple of days trying to find some diamonds. And I have to say, fortune-free is probably one of my favourite enchants in the game. Probably being in the middle of the ocean helped. Finding these diamonds was not a problem. So I made sure to collect a few of these diamonds so that I had enough for some diamond armor and also some tools as well. Okay, I think that's enough diamonds now. It's time to head home. So I get home, and the first thing I do is I make a full set of diamond armor and also some tools. And there it is. We finally have diamond armor, only on day 17. Wow. Anyways, now I need to go and find some obsidian. And you might be asking, why do I need obsidian? Well, I need to make a nether portal and also an enchantment table. So I made sure to go around collecting plenty of obsidian, and then I headed home and made the enchantment table. There it is. Wow, we finally have the enchantment table as well. But you know what? I need a place for this enchantment table to go. So I cleared out a bit of space and I made the enchantment table its very own area. And as well, I think it's about time we make a place for the nether portal. So I dug out a bit of space in the wall right here, placed in a bunch of obsidian, and there it was, the nether portal. So I lit it up and I went through. So I wanted to say hi to these hoglins. I wanted to see if they was friendly. And yeah, they wasn't friendly, so I had to make a run for it. Anyways, I went around collecting a few bits of quartz, and then I could see off in the distance a fortress. This was super exciting. So I headed over there and entered the fortress, and I could see there was some nether wart right here. So I decided to collect a few bits of nether wart. Is that a chest? Yes, it is. So I rushed over to the chest, opened it up, and I found some diamonds and also some iron. And once I'm in the nether, I thought, why not? Let's go in and collect a few blaze rods. So I headed to the blaze and I took them out, collecting a few blaze rods. And then I went around exploring, and I could see off in the distance there was a bastion. I was super excited, so I headed over there. As I entered the bastion and made a way up, there was a load of loot here. This was amazing. So I went around, looted up all the chests, and found some really good loot. And then I went around collecting a few of the materials from the bastion. I wanted to use some of these blocks in my builds, so I went around and collected a few blocks. I had a few bits of gold and I thought, okay, let's go and trade with some of the piglins. And sadly, I didn't really get anything good, but that was alright. I headed out of there and I found a soul sand valley and collected a few bones. I'll need this for farming. Then after that I went to go and find a warped forest. And finally I found one. All I have to do now is to go and find a few endermen. So I searched the entire forest. I found a few endermen. And then finally, it's time to head home. So I get home, and now what I want to do is make a farm. I specifically want to make a potato farm. But first, I would need some more materials. So you know what I did. I headed back to the island, collected a bunch more wood and resources. So I went around the entire forest and collected a bunch of oak wood, and also I decided to go and collect some sand. And I thought, why should I collect sand if I could just go to the temple and collect sandstone? So I headed over to the desert temple and collected a bunch of sandstone. Finally, on day 29, places some stone bricks to finish off the potato farm. But I'm not done just yet. Made sure to place in a few lanterns as well. And then, finally, the potatoes. And there it is. Made sure to bone meal them all up as well, and then harvest them all. And as well, I wanted to do a bit of decorating around my base. So I just used a bunch of that black stone that I collected from the nether, and also some stone brick stairs. Also a bit of decorating to the potato farm, and this area right here as well. Day 30. I think it's time for a bit of a tour, and I want to show you guys what I've done. Starting off with this hallway, we have some stone bricks, which look very nice. And then the entrance of our base, we have some black stone walls, which definitely make it look very nice. And over here is our potato farm. This is where we grow our potatoes. So we have all our potatoes, some lanterns, and also some storage. Looks very nice. And coming over here, I'm not sure what to use this place for just yet. Maybe later on I can use it for something. Maybe I can use it for a storage room or something like that. And then finally we have this room. Then entering the room, we have this crimson wall right here. And this area right here, I might use for potions. This will be where I'll make all my potions. And we have our nether portal and also our enchantment table. And speaking of our enchantment table, I think it's time we go and collect a few bookshelves. But first, I need to make some eyes of ender. So I'll make a few eyes of ender and then I head out and go and find the stronghold. As I was on my way to the stronghold, I found this coral reef area, which looks amazing. Then finally, well, we gotta be close now. Can't be far away, surely. Found it. Yes. So I headed down into the stronghold and went exploring. As I made a way down this staircase right here, entered through this door, and I couldn't believe my eyes. There it was, a library. So I went around collecting a bunch of books, and then I found this chest. And I found some really good books, like heat protection. So I would put this enchant on my helmet, so I would be protected from the sun. And after that, I went around the stronghold and wanted to see what else I could find. And then, as I made my way up these stairs right here, I couldn't believe it. There it was, the end portal. If only I had enough ender eyes, I could take out the ender dragon right here, right now. But that wasn't happening. So I placed on a few of eyes of ender, and I think now it's time to head back home. So I'll get home and make a bunch of bookshelves. So I placed in all the bookshelves, and there it is. So what am I waiting for? It's time to go enchanting. So I enchanted my pickaxe, and unfortunately, I just got efficiency 4, which was good, but not really. Anyways, I put that heat protection on my helmet, and it's time to test this thing out. And yeah, it works. It's now time to make some potions. So I made a very simple table right here, and this would be where I make my potions. And unfortunately, I didn't have any brewing stands. So that means I have to go back to the nether and go and collect some. So I went back to the blazes and collected a few blaze rods. And I have to say, these blazes put up a fight. I had to use my crossbow. Anyways, I headed back home and made a few fire-resistant potions. And then I noticed, as I was going all through my stuff, I noticed that I had a treasure map. And I think it's about time we go and find some treasure. And I have to say, the treasure isn't far away. I was super excited, so I left my home, went to go and find this treasure. And it has to be in this pile right here. All I have to do is dig around, and hopefully I can find it. So I spent a while digging around, and finally, I found it. So I opened up a chest and there was some really good loot, like a bunch of iron, emeralds, and also the heart of sea. So I collected all the treasure and then I headed home. As I got home, I did a bit of farming because I was running low on food. Hey, and also, I need to find some more diamonds. So what I decided to do was to make my own custom mine. So I dug out a bit of space right here and I went looking for some diamonds. And once again, luck was on my side. I found loads of these. So I had enough diamonds now, so I rushed home and made a few new diamond tools. And then I went to go and enchant them. And surprisingly, I got this really good pickaxe. I was super amazed. Okay, I was trying to get a looting sword, but it wasn't happening. I ran out of levels. Sadly, I have to now go back to Nether and collect a load more. So I headed to Nether. And I thought, well, okay, once I'm here, I might as well go and find some ancient debris. So I spent quite a long time trying to find some ancient debris, and I have to say, luck was not really on my side. I spent absolutely ages in the nether trying to find loads of ancient debris, but it wasn't happening. So I gave up and I decided to go home. So I got home and went to go and enchant my sword. But then, as I was going to enchant this book, I could see there was looting too. I was trying for ages, trying to get this looting free book, but I'll take a looting too. And I also got a loyalty free book as well. I would need this. So I combined that looting 2 book to my sword, so I sailed the seas and I could see there was a trident. So I headed down the quickest I could and I went to go and take out this drowned zombie. And surprisingly, as I took him out, I couldn't believe it. There it was, a trident. On the first go, we finally got a trident. Wow. So I went around and I went to go and see if I could get enough of one. So I took him out and sadly, he did not drop a trident. And instantly, I was getting attacked by all the drowns. So I had to do what I had to do. But I was not going to give up just yet. I wanted to go and get a second one. And finally, so I found this drowned right here. So I took him out and wouldn't you know it, a trident. And you can tell how happy I was. And then as I was sailing through the seas, I noticed off in the distance, there was a fish. So what I decided to do was to trap up the fish and have him as a friend. And there it is, now we have a pet fish. Hey, look, a shipwreck. This is awesome. And also, it contains some very good loot. Hey, and also I found a second treasure map. This is awesome. And I could see the treasure was not far off. So I went to go and investigate. And finally, after a bit of time, I was getting closer to the treasure. And then I noticed that this was the same treasure that I found earlier. Well, it's a bit awkward. Anyways, I headed back home and combined that trident with the other trident to make the ultimate trident. And also, I put on loyalty free as well. And there it is, guys. We now have a trident. And then I almost forgot. I had to make a place for my fish. Of course, I have to. So I dug out a bit of space in the wall right here. And I wanted to make him his very own aquarium. So I dug out a bit of space, placed in some glass, but I wanted this place to look nice. And I was thinking, what blocks do I want to use? Then I thought, why don't I just go back to the Ocean Temple and collect a few of their blocks? I'm sure they won't mind. So I carefully made a way over to the Ocean Temple. I had to be really careful. If I got spotted by one of the guards, it would be over in seconds. So I carefully made a way in right here, started collecting a few blocks. Well, that wasn't very good. So I left the Ocean Temple and went around exploring. I found a few sea pickles, so I made sure to collect a few of those, and also some seagrass and some kelp as well. Oh, finally we arrive home and I start making the aquarium. Placed in a bunch of sand, and also for the walls, I used some of those blocks that I collected from the Ocean Temple, and also some stone bricks as well. I wanted to make this place look very pretty for my fish. Now it's time to place in some seagrass and some kelp as well. And there it is. And finally, I placed in my fish. And I noticed that my fish was not very happy for some reason. It was a bit sad. So what I decided to do was to go and find him some friends. So I went around the ocean collecting a few fish. So I get home and place in all the fish. And straight away, I could tell my fish was very happy. Now he was a very happy fish. Day 61, it is now time to take out the Ocean Monument. So I headed out and headed to the Ocean Temple. So I carefully made a way over. I wanted to see if I could find the entrance. And I could tell this place was heavily guarded. This was really bad. And then, there it was. I was spotted by the Elder Guardian. So, I didn't hesitate, and it's now time to take out the Elder Guardians. So I rushed through all the Guardians, and I entered the Ocean Temple. And then, there he was, the Elder Guardian. So I took him out with my trident. After a few hits, there he was. The first one has been defeated. There's only 2 more. I couldn't believe it. As I turned this corner, there it was, the second one. I know what I had to do. I had to take him out very quickly. He tried to make a run for it. He couldn't escape. So I threw my trident and took him out. So I fought my way through the Ocean Temple, taking out all the Guardians, and I explored the entire temple. And finally, as I made a way up here, there he was, the last Elder Guardian. I had to take him out the quickest I could. These things are no joke. And if I got hit 3 times, it was game over. And as well, he tried to escape, but he couldn't. I could tell the Elder Guardian was weak. And after a few strikes, there it was. He has finally been defeated. And there it is. The Ocean Temple is now mine. And there it is. We did it. The Ocean Temple is now mine. But before I go home, I wanted to go around and collect a few more materials. Ah, this must be where they store their gold. Very nice. And I have to say, there's a few bits of gold in here, but not as much as the piglins. So I collected all the gold, and I also wanted to go and collect a few of the sponges. Anyways, it is now time to head back to base. So I got home and I had loads more blocks. So what I decided to do was to do a bit more decorating. I wanted to make my place look a lot nicer. And I have to say, my place looks very nice with all these different blocks. Definitely make it look a lot nicer. And I also decided to neat up a bit of the outside as well. I wanted to make this place look nice. And I have to say, this looks pretty cool. What do you guys think? Do you think it looks good or do you think it looks bad? Let me know. And to finish off the day, I decided to make a netherite ingot. The next day, I wanted to enchant all my armor. I didn't have any levels, so I had to go back to the nether and collect a load. And I have to say, it takes a very, very long time collecting all these levels. It's not so easy. Oh, finally, it's time to head home and finally enchant all my gear. So I get home, enchant all my gear. I got depth strider 3 on my boots, which is amazing. Hey, and also enchanted my sword and got sharpness 3, which was insane. But there was a fortune 3 pickaxe, and I wanted that. So I quickly headed back to the nether and collected a few levels. So I finally got my fortune 3 pickaxe, which was amazing. I combined it with my other pickaxe and then turned it into netherite. Day 73 to 81. I now wanted to go on an adventure. I wanted to see what else I could find out in the world. So I headed out and I stumbled across Desert Temple. So I went to go and investigate and I found some really good loot. Ah, is that a village? Yes, it is. So I went around the village and found some hay. Hey, I made sure to collect plenty of this stuff. I would need this for food. And then I found this. Anyways, I could see off in the distance there was a jungle. I was very happy. So I headed over there the quick as I could and collected some jungle wood. I made sure to collect plenty of this stuff. I wasn't coming back here for a long time. As my journey continues, I found an outpost. So I headed over there and there was a few pillagers around. Nothing special really. So I entered the outpost and made our way up to the top. As I got to the top, I found a chest and found some really good loot. I have to say, that was a bit of a journey. And I think it's now time to head back to base. So I spent the next couple of days heading back home. So I got home and I noticed there was a slime. Rather strange. So what I decided to do was to keep him as a pet. So I had that name tag. So what I decided to do was to name the slime Tim. And there it is. We now have a pet slime. After that, I made a few fence gates. I wanted to make it safe for my pet slime. And I didn't want him to drown. So I placed in a few fences right here. And I made sure it was very safe. And then, day 85, I head back to the nether and collect a few more blaze rods. And I made sure to collect plenty of these, and I'll also need a bunch more ender pearls. So I found a new warped forest, and I collected a few ender pearls. Oh, finally, that should do it. I finally have enough. It is now time. It is now time. It is now time to go and defeat the ender dragon. So I gathered all the stuff from my chest, all the stuff I would need for this fight. And then I said goodbye to all my pets and headed out. It is now time to finish this and take on the ender dragon. So I didn't hesitate and I jumped through the portal. And there she was, the ender dragon. So I had to take out all the end crystals. So I used my trident to take out the first end crystal right here. And also the second one. But the others I couldn't reach. I had to switch to my crossbow. And I could tell the ender dragon was not happy whatsoever. He tried to fire fireballs at me. This was really bad. And finally, I was able to get a bit of time, so I threw my trident, and there it was. And there it is. The end crystal has been destroyed. There was only one end crystal left. So I destroyed the last end crystal. I could tell the ender dragon was not happy. She tried to charge at me, so I jumped, and this was a really bad idea. I took a lot of damage. But anyways, I healed back up, and it was now time to take on the ender dragon. So I used my trident to do the most damage that I could, and then this happened. As I was trying to do damage with my sword, I was knocked into the air, and I couldn't believe it. The ender dragon was about to win, but then I switched to my water bucket and landed. I couldn't believe it. I could tell the ender dragon was not happy whatsoever. It's now time to end this fight, so I used my trident and crossbow to do damage to the ender dragon. So I I waited for the right opportunity, and it was time to end this. And here it is. Wow, we did it. We finally defeated the Ender Dragon. Wow. So I went around collecting all the XP and also the Ender Egg. I made sure to collect that as well. And there it is, finally we got the Ender Egg. And there it is, we did it. We finally defeated the Ender Dragon. All I had to do now was to go home. So I finally get home and now it's time to make a place for the Dragon Egg to go. And I thought I'd use this room right here. So I cleared out a massive space, which took a couple days, and I wanted to make this place look very nice. So I made sure to take my time. I have to say, this place looks amazing. And all I have to do now is to place on the Dragon Egg. And there it is. Wow, we did it. And there it is, day 100. Wow, we finally did it. We finally survived 100 days as a drowned in hardcore Minecraft. And I have to say, what an adventure this has been. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time. Peace out.